Hi, this is Mato. Welcome to my online chess lecture. In this video I will show you a game between Liren and Nepomniachtchi. This is a game from Online Nations Cup Rapid Tournament 2020. Liren had white pieces and he started with d4. Nepomniachtchi played knight to f6, c4, g6, knight to c3, d5, the Grunfeld defense. C takes on d5, knight takes on d5, e4, knight takes on c3, pawn takes knight, bishop to g7. It is white to move, and white can play many different moves in this position, like bishop to e3, bishop to c4, knight to f3, bishop to b5 check, queen to a4 check, bishop to a3, and the rook to b1. Liren played bishop to e3, c5, attacking white center, rook to c1, queen to a5, pinning the pawn, queen to d2, and Nepomniachtchi castled kingside. If c takes on d4, c takes on d4, queen takes queen check, king takes queen. This position favors white. Back to our game. Castling, knight to f3, bishop to g4, d5, black to move. The three most played moves are bishop takes knight, knight to d7, and knight to a6. Nepo played b5, sacrificing the pawn on c5. Bishop takes on c5, rook to c8, bishop to d4. Bishop takes on f3, bishop takes bishop on g7, bishop takes on e4, bishop to h6. The material is equal, but black must be careful not to get in trouble on the dark squares. The game continued, queen to b6, preventing queen to d4, f3, bishop to f5, g4, bishop to d7, h4, intending to open the h-file. And interestingly, white king seems to be quite safe in the center of the board. Bishop to e8, h5, f6, h takes on g6, bishop takes on g6, bishop to e3 attacking the queen, queen to d6. If the queen stays close to the pawn, then d6, and after rook to d8, check, winning the rook. Back to our game. Nepo played queen to d6, bishop takes pawn, and white is a pawn up. Knight to d7, king to f2, rook from a to b8, bishop to e2, queen to a3, bishop to d4, rook to b2, attacking the queen, queen to e3, knight to e5, bishop takes knight, pawn takes bishop, queen takes on e5, and white is now 2 pawns up. Queen to d6, let's take it back. If queen takes pawn on a2, then queen to e6 check, winning the rook. Back to our game. Nepo played queen to d6, queen takes queen, pawn takes queen, rook from h to e1. The other way to go was rook to h2 and bishop to d3, king to f1. Rook from h to e1, black to move, rook to e8 was played, bishop to d3 would be the best response. Back to our game, rook to e8, rook from c to d1, rook to c8, king to g3, rook takes pawn on c3, a4, a5, bishop to f1, rook to b4, and now rook to e6, rook takes pawn on a4, rook takes pawn on d6. Both players have a passed pawn. Which pawn will be faster? The game continued. Rook from a to a3, rook to f6, king to g7, attacking the rook which is defending the pawn on f3. What is the best square for the rook? What would you do? Perhaps rook to f4 was expected, but Liren played this amazing move. Are you ready to see the move? d6. Rook to c8, let's take it back. If king takes rook, then d7. And if rook takes on f3 check, king to h4 and white wins. Back to our game. Rook to c8, d7, rook to d8, rook to e6, also preventing bishop to e4. Rook to b3, rook to e5, rook to b7, bishop to b5, defending the pawn. Bishop to c2, rook to d2, bishop to g6, rook to e8, rook from b to b8, white played a move and black resigned, and the move is rook from d to e2. Nepo resigned in view of discontinuation. Bishop takes rook, pawn takes bishop queen, rook takes queen, bishop takes rook, rook to a8, bishop to a4, if king goes to g6, rook to e5, and I guess we can stop here. What do you think of this game? And that is all. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I wish you good luck with your chess, and bye for now.